Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. We're going to talk a little Pelican basketball today. Pelicans played the Toronto Raptors last night. A pretty solid team. They had basically all their starters healthy. Pelicans came into the game. No C.J. McCollum, no Brandon Ingram, but still found a way to win 126-108 thanks to a large part of Zion and Trey Murphy. We'll get into those stats, but let's kind of go through Toronto stats first. Van Vliet starting point guard, 1 for 8. From the field, 0 for 7 from 3. We can give a lot of credit to Jose Alvarado for that. Scotty Barnes, their next best player or best player, 1 for 7. Only 4 points. OG Anunoby, 5 for 11. Pascal Siakam, 9 for 16. Now we go to the Pelicans, who had a fantastic game on the offense side of the ball. You can start off with Jose Alvarado, 1 for 4 from the field, 5 assists, 4 points, starting point guard. But we know he's out there mostly for his defense, lock down those other teams' opposing guards, and he did a good job at that. Herb Jones, 12 points, left with an ankle injury, so of course another injury for the Saints. I think it was left ankle soreness, if I remember correct. Finished with 12 points, shot 2 for 5 from the three-point line, which is very, very good from him. Then you got Trey Murphy, man, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 8 for 17 from the field, 6 for 12 from the three-point line, which is fantastic. If you're going to take 12 threes and make 6, you're going to be starting in the NBA for a long, long time. 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Then you got Zion Williamson, man. This was probably one of the best games he's played this year, in my opinion. 33 points, 10 rebounds, had 3 offensive rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, was everywhere, running the point guard position, playing off ball, was 12 for 15 from the field, 9 for 12 from the free throw line. That's 75%. You can live with that with him. If he's going 75% from the free throw line, that is a great day from Zion. Then you got Valanciunas, 16 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. We needed the big game from him. That was very, very solid. 2 for 5 from the three-point line, which is very, very good. It's also a reason why Zion can dominate the paint when you got your center who can step out. And I do want to talk about Zion a little bit, man. His 3 out of the last 4 games has been fantastic. I still think he needs to work a little harder on the glass, especially on the defensive end, if he's going to play the 4. If not, we're going to have to look at him playing the 3, which is going to bring, some trouble in as well, just because of, the outside perimeter shooting, things like that. But that's just nitpicking right now. He needs to work hard, work harder on the glass. He's too athletic, he's too big, he's too strong. But the last 3 out of 4 games, man, let's look at the Spurs game. He had 32 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 2 steals. The Memphis game, the game we got blown out in, he was 6, and that was 14 for 18 against the Spurs, which is 78% from the field or something like that. Against Memphis, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. We got blown out that game. Didn't really make an impact. Lost by 20 plus points. Then against OKC, 35 minutes, which I do like to see. 35 minutes from Zion, had 23 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 blocks. 1 steal. Shot 1 for 1 from the free throw line. Even took a 3, didn't make it, but shot 11 from 18 from the field. That's 61%. And then last night against the Raptors, 37 minutes. He was great last night, 12 for 15, 33 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 4 steals. So he's getting blocks, he's getting steals. He's been active on the defensive end, making game-changing plays with steals and blocks and things like that. Still not the best on-ball defender or off-ball defender, but he can come weak side, get some blocks, get some chase down blocks because he's just athletic. I knew it was going to take time for Zion to get back into rhythm, man. He didn't play a whole basketball season. It's just, crazy to expect him to just come back to where he was when he left off. But he's still playing very, very well this year. He's 18th in the league in scoring at 23 points a game, 6.6 rebounds, 4 assists. I think I came into the year, said he was probably going to average, I believe I said 26, 7, and 5. So he's not there yet, but the last couple games he's kind of getting there, raising those averages. It's a long season to go. I still think he can average at least 25 to 26 points a game, 7 rebounds. He's been rebounding the ball a little better as of late. Definitely a little better. 4 assists a game. It's going to be hard with CJ and Brandon Ingram, when they come back for him to average 5 assists. But also, they still could run him at the point a little bit, man. Instead of just throwing it to him in a post, him going left every time. Let him get some space. Let him operate on the perimeter. And he showed you he can do it. The Raptors were running double teams at him, man. Double teams at the three-point line, all kind of things. Zion just running around it, passing around it. It helps when Trey Murphy's knocking down shots like that. So I just want to see Trey Murphy and Zion minutes. That's the biggest thing I need to see. You need a guy like Trey Murphy on the court when Zion's on the court. I don't know if that means you have to mix up their starting lineup or do something. But if Trey Murphy's going to shoot the ball like that, which he's very capable of, that's why he was drafted, that he needs to be on the court with Zion at all times. That's just going to give him space. If you got a guy that you just can't leave, because it's a threat for 3, it's going to make this offense, unlock Zion even more. unfortunately, it's becoming one of those years where we don't get to see Zion, Bi, CJ together. Just like last year, man, we haven't got to see these three guys give us like a 20-game stretch of just all three of them on the court. We haven't got that yet. It's either Zion's been hurt with something minor or he was out all year. CJ's been hurt with something minor. Brandon Ingram had a concussion. Just things like that. We just haven't seen these guys. We haven't even seen them get a 10-game run in, honestly. Just a 10 straight games. All three guys healthy. This entire roster healthy. Herb Jones healthy. We just haven't got to see it, at all. So when those guys get healthy, hopefully we can get a stretch where all those guys are healthy, especially when that Phoenix and Utah stretch come up with 5 games. When we play those two teams, 3 times Phoenix and 2 times Utah. Hopefully by that stretch, all these guys will be healthy. I would like to see these guys against, great competition in the West. We're one of the better teams in the West right now. Got to get healthy. It's early in the season, but I just don't want to underestimate that chemistry aspect of the game. These guys not playing with each other, getting the feel for each other is eventually going to come bite them. It's super, super early, so obviously they're going to have time. They've played with each other before, but you just want to get them as much games as possible, as much minutes on the court as possible, because when it comes to the playoffs, your best guys are going to be out there, and they're probably going to be out there for 38 to 40 minutes apiece. So they're going to be on the court with each other. So you're going to need CJ, Zion, Bi to just get that chemistry. Everybody's clicking on the same page, figuring out each other, and it's going to take time. It's going to be a process just because you have, 3 guys that are really, really good at basketball. This is a problem the Pelicans never really had. And it's a good problem to have. Zion needs to keep the same intensity, the same attack mode, even when Brandon Ingram's on the court. And Brandon Ingram, the same thing, even when Zion's on the court. We get both of those guys clicking at the same time. CJ kind of orchestrating the show. He's going to have to take a back seat, which, he knows. CJ knows that it's Brandon Ingram's and Zion's team. Make shots when it's time to make shots. That's how it has to go. And I think they can do it. I think they can do it super, super early in the season. They're sitting at number 3 in the West right now at 13-8. 2 games out of first place behind the Phoenix Suns, who's 15-6. We're behind the Nuggets, so it's the Nuggets and the Suns in front of us. Then it's the Pelicans. Then it's the Grizzlies, Clippers, who are 13-10 without Kawhi and PG somehow, so they're playing pretty well. Then you got Utah, Golden State, Minnesota, Portland. That's it through the play-in game. And then you got the 11 seed Dallas Mavericks, who are 500. So it's going to be a tight race in the West. Very, very tight. Dallas, it's only 20 games into the year, basically. But Dallas Mavericks are 11 seed, and they're 4 games, out of the number 1 seed. So it's going to be a very, very tight race. All of these games are going to count. Every last game are going to count, in the West especially, in your division especially, to win these games. But the Pelicans are looking very, very good, playing through injuries right now. And they're just a good basketball team right now. We're 8-3 at home, 5-5 on the road. That's the dominant teams. That's how the records look. You always want to have a dominant record at home. And if you're just at least average to above average on the road, you'll be great. So 8-3 at home, 5-5 on the road, which is 500, 4-1 in division, 8-5 in the conference. That's good winning basketball. We have a 6.1 differential, which I believe is second best in the West. Yeah, second best in the West, only to the Phoenix Suns. I think third best in the NBA behind the Phoenix Suns and the Boston Celtics. So we're playing good basketball right now. Just need to get healthy, get these guys on the same page. But I love what I see from Zion right now. He needs to keep it up, stay in attack mode, because he's a generational type talent. And if it translates to a generational type player, just look out NBA, because he's going to be unstoppable. But that's all on the Pelicans for now, man. Good win last night against Toronto Raptors. As always, this is DaBoot Tragedies, and I'm out.